In this video, I want to give you the exact system that we've been using to help dozens of our clients every single month scale to a predictable 7 figures. And I want to take you behind the scenes of 3 businesses that we've helped take from a few $1,000s a month in profit to $30,000 or more in profit from paid ads. So let's get right into it and check out how you can make this happen for your business as well. So $30,000 in profit from paid ads is nothing really to scoff at, and it's not something that happens just by luck. You really need to have the right systems, the right mindset, the right tracking all in place to make sure that this is actually working. And what I'm going to break down in this video are the 4 essential pillars that you need to make sure that you have in place in order to actually attract cold leads, cold customers, cold audience, and actually convert them into raving fans into your business, and ideally get them to continue to buy with you and continue to stick around. A lot of people talk about upfront marketing, but not a lot of people talk about retaining those people, giving them a great experience, and actually helping them stick around for the long haul. So we'll talk about that a little bit in this video, but if you want a dedicated video for that around retention, delivering actual good results, maintaining relationship, and having good communication, let me know. I can make another video just around that. So 30K profit, paid ads, 4 pillars. Let's get right into it. So the first things first here is making sure that you have a really good offer. Now, obviously this is a given. Everyone's reading Alex Hormozi's books. Everyone knows about having a good offer. And I assume at this point, if you're watching this video, you have at least something that's working. You're selling something, and something is getting some of your sales through the door at the end of the day. But the big point is actually with your offer, making sure that you're tailoring your offer for the different customers that you're getting. So there could be a few different kinds of customers that you're getting. I'll just give a few examples. So you could have some clients that are coming through that are rich, that are crushing it. You're going to have some general public, and then you're going to have repeat buyers. With that, you want to make sure that at every step in your funnel and in your process that you're tailoring what you're selling exactly to each one of these markets. It's super important because selling to wealthy clients could require more of an efficient, straightforward funnel, something that's just easy. They book a call, they talk to you, you close them, that's it. Maybe they don't even need a call. Maybe they need a really, really dialed in VSL, a connection to a testimonial of yours, and you sell. And something more of a direct offer. At the end of the day, whenever you're advertising this, whether you're advertising internally or externally, you have to make sure that the messaging resonates with each one of these people. And try to avoid generic language that people would find off-putting. Can't spell. A lot of people inside of their Facebook ads tend to just go really, really broad, especially with the audience, and then they try to do the same thing on the creative and the copy. But the big thing is to stay away from being generic. It's better the more specific you can be, the better results you're going to get. Even if you don't get as many leads or your cost per lead isn't as good, that's okay because you're going to get a lower cost to acquire a customer. And that's the big metric you want to be tracking. So that's the first thing, your offer. The second thing is a funnel. So for those of you that don't know, a funnel is something that is actually very specific, direct response marketing that takes someone and gives them a certain end result. It gives you a certain end result. It's not a website, it's not a social media page. Those things can act as a funnel or as a mechanism to get someone to convert, but a funnel has a very specific outcome that you want from it. With your funnel, you want to make sure that you're actually choosing the correct funnel and the right conversion mechanism at the end of the day. I'm going to share with these 3 clients specifically that got to 30K of profit a month, what each of their conversion mechanisms were inside of their funnels and how it worked best. So I'm going to jump down here. So the first conversion mechanism is a VSL funnel, a video sales letter funnel. This is a really simple, very straightforward funnel. We talked about it briefly up here when we talked about the offer and making sure you're tailoring your message to those clients. And it's essentially you send people to a page, there's a video that tells them more about you, who you are, what you can do, who you've helped, and how you can help them. And you're essentially getting them to then book a call. Now, there's a few different variations of this, and for both of the clients here, there's 2 clients that use the VSL, and then the other 2 clients kind of did a little bit of a mixing. With the VSL, there's a few ways that you can do this, and here is how we have seen these work. First is VSL directly to book a call. So the flow would look something like this. We would have an ad that'll send people to a landing page with a video with the VSL. From there, they go to the next page where you'll have like an application of some sort. Then you'll have the call, so the calendar, and then you'll have the thank you page. Really simple. The only difference is you can choose either to have this application or to not have the application. So you could essentially take people from ad to VSL, VSL right to the call, and call to thank you, and just not have that application in the mix whatsoever. Both work really well, and it's something that you should be testing to kind of determine what actually works best in your business. Make sure that you're choosing the right mechanism, make sure that you're testing it in small different variations, and I'll get into this in a little bit, but you want to make sure that you're actually looking at the correct metrics in your business to know what metrics matter most and what metrics are actually driving success at the end of the day. So that's a VSL funnel. Next one that I had another client do is a workshop or a webinar funnel. We've been seeing these do very, very well recently. And we like to call these workshop funnels because everyone's using webinar, and workshop, a challenge, something like that brings a really cool, unique mechanism to the mix, and people notice that, and it tends to work really well. So the structure for this is we have an ad, we send people to a registration page, they sign up for the webinar or the workshop, then we go to the thank you page, and then the important thing, which I'll get into here in a minute, is there's an email sequence, and there's an email sequence on all of these to promote show-ups. Then, once someone actually does show up, so this is the actual workshop, someone will show up, 90-minute workshop. You could split it between a 1-day 90-minute workshop or 2 days of 90 minutes as well. Either work fine. You could even do a 60-minute one. So 90 to 60 minutes. Then you can there's two options here. You can either pitch right away and get cash on the webinar, or my preference, to be honest, is send them to book a call. You do the sales call, and then you get them to sign up. So a few different variations here, and not too different, but the two options are to actually get them on the call and sell them on the webinar, or on the workshop / webinar, speak to them, and the call to action, instead of them purchasing right on the spot, is going to be them actually attending the webinar, attending a sales call. Now this is great, especially for a high ticket program, and you can do some other things where you have like a downsell workshop where you sell the product on the workshop, and that's what I would do. In most cases, I would not sell it right there on the workshop. I would get them to a sales call first once they've been on the workshop, because those people that show up for the workshop, they're way more committed, they're interested in learning, and you have so much time on brand and time to build know, like, and trust with them before, when they sign up, during the webinar, during the workshop, and then on the sales call as well. So you have a lot of touch points with them before you even ask them anything. Not too many asks that you're doing, not too much friction that you're requiring of them before they end up being sold. Another really big thing, evergreen workshops, evergreen webinars. If you want to see success here, do not do an evergreen workshop or an evergreen webinar. Even after you test this, you could maybe have a evergreen one, but the live ones just crush it. People can tell when they're pre-recorded. People are getting tired of them. These live ones, where they're very interactive, are super, super important. Alex Hormozi even spoke with Mr. Beast, and Mr. Beast is doing a ton of live streams and live videos. Hormozi is starting to do the same thing because it's very interactive. The more interactive you can make it, the more you can pull people into your world and be a part of something with them, the better results you're going to get. So that is super, super important. Is between the workshop and the VSL, we have seen these really, really great results where we've gotten $30K in profit from these paid ads. I flashed up some results earlier on the screen. I'm sure you'll see them a few more times as well. So after that point, we've got the offer, we've got the funnel. Next point is actually nurturing them. So nurture is super important because right now there's a pretty big trust recession. People have a lot of skepticism. There's a lot of people selling different things. There's a lot of information out there. And your job as a business owner is to make sure that you're proactively addressing objections that they could have before they even come to the call, before they even start working with you, before they're even booking a call or showing up to the workshop. You need to address objections and share transparent testimonials, especially, including maybe even not totally negative ones, but just honest ones, and provide as much information you can at each touch point. So how are we doing this? This is something that we're almost like triaging testimonials and building know, like, and trust. What we'll do, whether it's someone that has signed up for a workshop or it's someone that signed up for a VSL, we then send them to this email sequence here. loosely draw this out. But first email is more of like a welcome and congrats. We'll have a second email, which is all about testimonials, results, and value. And then we'll basically continue to repeat this: value, testimonial, and then omnipresent channel. So what does this actually look like? Someone signs up for your workshop. We'll just use that as an example. They get an initial welcome confirmation sequence. From there, shortly after, you should send them some value, maybe a free resource that goes along with the webinar, maybe a free playbook that they can use and review before the call so they come with all the right metrics, and then layer in some testimonials as well, obviously. After that point, you can continue to deliver value, but how you can do this is you can send them to different parts of your world. So you can deliver value by sending them to your YouTube channel with a really valuable YouTube video for them to watch, and if they watch it, the next time they go on YouTube, one of your videos will probably be recommended to them. So it's a really easy thing to do where you don't have to do all the work. You just have to give them that video. And if they watch it, you're in really, really good shape. Testimonials, and then continuing to do that omnipresent brand building where you're sending them to Instagram, YouTube, your LinkedIn, your testimonial page, your website, wherever you can to make sure you're actually building know, like, and trust. Another thing that we will do is we will set up these really in-depth retargeting campaigns. And what we will do with these retargeting campaigns is we will essentially take all these pieces of content that we have across YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, wherever it is, and we will retarget people, if this is a person down here, with each pieces of those content at least a few times. So for example, this person will see this content once or twice, this one, and they keep going down this thing, and they're being fed all these different pieces of content. So that the end result is once they get on the call with you and they go through this whole thing where they're hitting all these different layers of content, they become someone that trusts your brand, they become someone that vouches for you, and they understand your philosophy, the way you think, etc., etc. There's a few easy ways to do this in the Ads Manager. You can do a deeper video about it, but at the end of the day, make sure you're hitting people with as much pieces of content as you can, and don't just remind them. Give them real value. Give them a reason to show up, and see why you're actually helping them and why you should be helping them. Last but not least is with the conversion side of things, actually getting the sale, kind of delivering and making sure you know what things you need to be tracking in order to get those conversions. So a lot of businesses fail because they're either tracking the wrong things or they're tracking too many different things. And that goes on both the sales and marketing side. And that also goes into show that sales and marketing need to be working as a team so that you can track the right metrics and figure out what's working and what's not. Most important things are really those like top of funnel metric or the deeper funnel metrics. So if you look at a workshop funnel, for example, what are the most important metrics here? And you can apply this as well to anything else. Leads or registrants / cost per lead, show ups. I'd say like sales calls booked. So that's calls booked. Sales calls showed. And then closed. At the end of the day, those are the most important thing. We can go a little bit back and look at like CPMs, cost per link click, but that should just be what your media buying team is focused on. They should be focused on getting those costs the best they can and getting the right kinds of people to sign up. And then after that, your nurture sequence is helping people show up and making sure they're prepped for actually being sold. And then your sales team is doing the job of making sure they show up to the sales call and actually sign up and close. These are the exact things that we've tracked and that we do at a high level with these 3 clients and with all the other clients that we work with. It's simple across the board. It's making sure we're hitting them at 4 different stages and making sure that you're tracking the right metrics at each one of these stages. Because if you're not, you can lose out a lot. So that's all for this high level video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, let me know, and I can definitely go deeper on each one of these. I could probably make a full-length video on each one of these sections here, but I think that'll give you a good baseline of thinking, okay, am I tracking the right things? Where are the choke points in my business? Am I actually overcoming buyer skepticism in the ads and in the content that I'm putting out there, or is it just content? And then what strategy is actually working best? Right now for us, it's a VSL funnel, it's workshops, and then we have some low ticket stuff that's working too. But I'd say if you're just wanting to book calls, these are crushing it. And specifically for these 3 clients that have recently passed that 30K a month in profit mark, those are the 2 things that are working really, really well for all 3 of them. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you need help with any of this, or if you want us to analyze your marketing strategy, just check the links below. You can apply for a quick call with me or someone on my team. We've got tons of more free resources out there, and I'll see you in the next video.